friendos, welcome back. Hey, Eben and Static. Oh, I meant to check how much we have done. It looked like 25%. That feels right. I'm all out of fancy little coffee drinks. Hey, Omega. And all I can think about is how much I want a fancy little coffee drink. Because once I do that to myself, once I get my little drink, you know, when I'm streaming, I just have my little drink, then I want my little drink all the time. But I cannot have a fancy coffee drink every day. Because life is cruel. Where? No, I want one of the, like, little canned latte things. I've been drinking the... I'll buy the Starbucks ones, the, like, Starbucks bottled latte things sometimes when I can't find any better ones, but there are a lot better ones out there. And I want one of those. I drink hot black coffee in the morning. Well, I mean, I do a little bit of cream, but I drink hot, boring, normal coffee in the morning. That is my normal beverage, but I want a fancy drink right now. I could just go make coffee if coffee was what I wanted, but what I want is a fancy drink. Map. Okay, so where are we? Oh, right, we're back at the Megastructure? Ah, yes, we are actually, it's right there. We are back at the Megastructure.
Come on, people, get on board. We haven't got all day.
And the unfortunate thing is, my favorite black coffee is this small roaster that is...
Take a sip.
Aye, aye, sir.
In Vermont. And a place close to me sells it, but it's...
Have any of you ever read an ancient writer called Ian Banks?
much more expensive.
I guess not. He postulated the concept of the outside context problem. That's when a society encounters something so advanced, so different, that they simply could not have conceived of it. That's what this is. This whole place is one giant outside context problem, and we're headed right into it.
I think I can set down over there. Should I?
Please do. I can't wait to get a closer look.
I mean, normally I'm a very rough and ready kind of girl. I drink chock full of nuts just because it comes in...
Okay, everyone.
Comes in
We need to
large...
explore as much as we can, separately if need be, but stay in touch. Record anything interesting you find, and pay special attention to any clues as to who...
The schematics we found in that lab were extremely incomplete. So if you can find any more of those, that'll be...
I think someone should stay at the VTOL just in case.
I volunteer you. See you later, Al.
Hey, Byron's terrible. I love him, but he's terrible. Anyway, I'm a very rough and ready girl. I like having coffee in the pantry. There have been many years where I have not been able to afford to have coffee in the pantry all the time. So the fact that I can have it is great. And I like chock full of nuts because it comes in a big old tin. And it is a tin. It's not a plastic, it's not a bag, it's a big fucking tin. Done. They are cheap. It tastes fine. But my, if you're in the Northeast or around Vermont, Six Depot is my favorite coffee. And I do buy the $11 pounds of it when I'm at my favorite coffee shop sometimes. That makes a lot of sense, Powers. I feel like, I mean, I have not had the Coheed and Cambria coffee myself, but I have heard of it. So the fact that it's good is kind of interesting. But yeah, my big weakness is fancy beverages in little bottles. And since it's winter, I like my little mochas. In the summer, I sometimes like my little iced teas. Ooh, yeah, but I bet that lasts for so long. I have so many... I guess I don't have them right here. Oh, no, here we go. They're just so useful. This is one of the small-sized ones, but they're just so useful, you know? In the workshop downstairs, Gramps has like a billion fucking Maxwell House when Maxwell House still came in steel containers. I do like having two versions of a thing, you know? I like having my standard normal coffee and then my fancy coffee, because just having things in the pantry makes me so happy. Tarragon flavor, oh boy. Much fancier than me. Do not have an extremely refined palate. Sorry, I refuse to go faster than this. It just feels like we should be walking. Like, look at this. This is beautiful. That's okay. I'll save, scum. I don't give a shit. Well, we're definitely supposed to go to this first, I'm sure, so why don't we just do that instead of trying to circumvent the game.
This thing seems to be broken.
Fuck out of my way, you could. Oh, covered, fine. On Loyalty, from Arkady Chernyshevsky's In Our Likeness, Essays on Humankind Reaching Adulthood. What I propose, then, is that we are not born entirely as free agents, responsible only for ourselves, The very core of what we are, our sentience, separates us from and elevates us above the animal kingdom. As I have argued, this is not a matter of arrogance, but of responsibility. However, this blessing also demands something else from us, something more personal than responsibility, and that is loyalty. Our ancestors, less atomized than we are, experienced a crude version of this loyalty, swearing allegiance to tribes, races, nations, and other semi-fictional concepts. This fragmented understanding was easily exploited and led to many conflicts. We can condemn them for that, or we can choose to believe that these were necessary historical steps towards our growth. But above all, we must stop indulging in such childlike behavior. Our species can no longer afford to believe in Mother Russia or Uncle Sam. Neither, however, can we afford to indulge in the adolescent rebel's misanthropy, rejecting the many gifts we've been lucky enough to receive, not from above, but from the history of our species. To put it simply, each of us owes a burden of loyalty to humanity itself. I reject the premise of this whole. I'm mad at this one. To the human project across time and space. This is not a minor matter, or some abstract issue for philosophers. It's a profound and significant part of every human life. It's a universal source of meaning and insight that can bind us together and set us on a path for a brighter future. And it is also a division, a line that must be held against those who preach the gospel of self-annihilation. We ignore it at our peril. Chernyshevsky, like Drennan, stood by this belief to the bitter end. Without him, the archive would not exist. As we owe humanity our loyalty, so we owe a more personal debt to those individuals who gave everything for our story to continue. I hate that this is presented as loyalty. I feel like that's so I can't think of the words that I want. Why? No, it's not naive. I'm saying that it is loyalty is about what happens in you as an individual. It's individualistic, is what I'm saying. Instead of saying we owe it to our communities, we're saying you owe loyalty. You have to do this for something else because. Now, the idea of community is you owe your community altogether, you know, as opposed to individually. I think it was written very specifically to say loyalty. I think they're trying to make a statement with using the word loyalty. I don't want to assume from this that their choice of words was incorrect. But it feels like a very individualistic perspective, despite the fact that it's talking about you owe something to a group or something else. Well, they're not talking about blind faith. They're talking about the obligation of continuing what you have because somebody worked very hard to continue it for you. Get out of the way of my palm reader. I'm not allowed to read this one yet? Fine. I don't think most of human society is heavily individualistic. I think most of American society is extremely individualistic.
Hold on a second, 1K. I think I can find an override for that door.
Yeah.
Maybe after that, you can help me with this elevator?
One problem at a time.
She likes me better.
Going on with these fast structures. Okay, door should be opening. Now, about the elevator.
Actually, the elevator's fine.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. No idea where I am, but it's working.
Great.
Don't go too far. Try to circle back.
On it.
This is such a gigantic structure. We could be here for fucking ever. Oh, it must have been the side of my head. I keep seeing things. If this were Elden Ring, there would be a secret here. Man, Aperture Science is really looking kind of rough.
Hey, 1K, can we talk for a second?
Oh boy.
That whole thing with the elevator just gave me the creeps.
What's up?
When we first arrived here, I was really excited. It's such a huge place. The technology is so advanced. If we figure out what it all means, we could really change the future of New Jerusalem. The mayor says we have to avoid repeating the mistakes our ancestors made, to stay humble, to not reach too far. And that sounds very abstract, but I've seen the ancient cities. I've seen how much they built, how much they grew, how far they fell. So I've been thinking, what if all this sets us on the same path? What if this is too much power for anyone to control? I'm glad I'm not the only one who's a little worried, but we should keep exploring. Like you said, we need to understand what we're dealing with. Maybe it won't be all that bad. Thanks for talking to me, 1K. I know we're
Anytime.
in the middle of something, but I kind of needed that.
Oh my god. I spend my whole day at work being like the emotional caregiver for everyone. And now I get to spend my video game time doing the same thing. I was more confident in my jumping ability. Aw.
Hey, 1K, can we talk for a second? That whole thing with the elevator just gave me the creeps. When we first arrived here, I was really excited. It's such a huge place. The technology is so advanced. If we figure out what it all means, we could really change the future of New Jerusalem.
Can't skip through it.
The mayor says we have to avoid repeating the mistakes our ancestors made, to stay humble, to not reach too far. And that sounds very abstract, but I've seen the ancient cities. I've seen how much they built, how much they
Kind of
grew,
interested to pick another answer.
how far they fell. So I've been thinking, what if all this sets us on the same path? What if this is too much power for anyone to control? Then what do you think it was?
Yeah, it doesn't matter what it was. We're not them.
I don't know. I mean, is it really that simple? Our situation is different, I'll grant you that, but we do have a lot in common. Still,
Interesting that he was
you're
fighting
right,
with me on
and
that one.
I'm being too pessimistic. Thanks for talking to me, 1K. I know we're in the middle of something, but I kind of needed that.
I am baby. Stop asking for my opinion. Get the fuck. I'm exploring here. Get the fuck out. That's why I can't do multiplayer games. Should really have a flange on the bottom.
Looks like another set of puzzles. Same pattern, 1 gate, 3 receivers. Like some sort of fractal symmetry.
Hey, Sarah. Oh. Why do I already have them? Oh my god.
I keep getting locked out of parts of the system. I think I've tracked down some more schematics, though. Let's see. This might do something. Or not.
Damn it. boy. We are just going places. Oh no. I hope I have, like, GPS on me, because I don't know where I am. I'm already lost. Baby is lost. Why is... Good Lord. Alright, I don't want to go over there yet. Woo! I love it, Powers. I'm so sad. We've just been getting shitty rain for like a week, and we're gonna get shitty rain for another week, and I feel like we're not gonna get any snow this year. I feel like we're just in this weird, like, Western New York is getting a shit ton of, just absolutely decimated with winter weather. I understand people who do not like snow, I get it, but I have too much seasonal depression, and if it just stays gray and shitty all winter, I want to be dead. I hate the controls to this so much. Fucking Christ. I'm not struggling with... Huh. Interesting. This one is shittier. Yeah, me too, Evan, yeah. Yeah, exactly. I want to work from... Well, I actually have a job where I can stay home. It's not even work from home. It's like, if the weather's too bad, I don't have to go to work. Unlike Starbucks in the mall, where you have to go to work unless you are literally in the hospital, and then they want you to bring a doctor's note. Half of my trouble with these puzzles is that I cannot Get the controls to work. Or I cannot get the controls to work with my brain. I don't. Alright, let's not do this. It's literally just for that. Well, I guess it's also for picking up and putting things down. I don't know. I don't really like switching. I really don't like switching halfway through. And otherwise, I just really want to play this with a controller. But
This is madness. Even the walls are bursting with power.
what does that mean?
I wonder how far down this goes. Thank you so much, Nightcast. Oh, we are never far from the existential dread.
Oh, there's a ladder on both sides. Okay. Thank you. Right. I knew that. I knew better. My bad. Can I start this over? Hopefully this doesn't start over the megastructure. I really hate saying megastructure. Why? Why is that occur? Is that real? Is this an actual mechanic? Huh. Well, that can't be a real mechanic because then this would be fucking up. Oh, no, just kidding. That's so weird. Okay, question one. Why are these beams passing and they're okay? I don't understand why this... I don't understand why this works. These two shouldn't have boxes in the way. There's no box. Well, I guess he's got a little tiny platform. Sort of. Crap. Well, clearly I need to lock myself out of here. Or this is trying to teach me something that I just don't understand yet. Alright, I'm so sorry. I have to go get tissues. I'll be right back. Ugh. Okay. I almost want to just continue to go to the end and then come back for these things when I can't progress forward anymore. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I was here in spirit. Saturday I was like living on cold medicine, and then now I'm just tired. I shouldn't have had my last little coffee drink in the afternoon, because I get reliant on the little coffee drinks in the afternoon in order to make it through the rest of the afternoon. Yeah, I did one of them! Is that really the only... the only one I need to do in order to get the green gun? Why does it feel... it feels very Halo.
Good job, 1K.
Thanks, Dad. Well, shit. Now I, literally just have to turn around and do that puzzle. Or is this all just connected? RGB makes things work better. Nope. Okay, so yeah, this is all one big circle. Okay, so that makes me feel a little bit better about, like, where I am. I don't like... I mean, it's okay when we just have enclosed puzzle areas going in an area, but I don't like fucking around with an area without understanding the bounds of the area first. So I'm not saying the puzzles will now be easier to solve, but I am saying my brain will be a little bit less cranky about them. Okay. Is this... Can I do anything in here? I need it to come from over there. All right. Really? That's bullshit. Oh my god. Thank you. Fucking God. Brain just did not want to do that one. I don't remember what's over on the other side. It needs to be up here. That's true. At least they say done, yeah. Yay! Success! Serotonin, yay! I'm sure it's a kill plane. But what if it wasn't?
Well done.
Shit, I really don't know about that other one, though. I feel like this isn't... I don't know. I don't know if that counts as introducing me to the mechanic. Because I don't understand... I don't understand the parameters. Well, I can't take the cube. Alright, I don't understand why this one is... Okay, so what if... Maybe it's because it's getting fed from two of the same... Two of the same color? Actually, I can't quite tell where this is going. This is... Okay, so no, these are actually shooting at each other. Oh, is that it? Nope, this isn't gonna do it because it's gonna turn off the door. Yeah, pick this one up. How do I make this? Be blue. Alright, I need to get... I need to get the door open. So the only provided color is blue. I need to get this blue door open. I don't think that I can configure it so that it is right, so that that one is right there. That seems counter to the rest of the puzzle. Okay, so this is self-powered now. And this is pushing red. So actually we might be okay to take this one off. I think I just made this a lot more difficult for myself. I don't quite understand there where I...
The gate's open. 1K if you want to. Go ahead. I'll finish up scanning this.
Tied up. Okay, so there is eventually fall damage. Speed strats. Zoomies. Hate these, you know, mirrored areas. Hate them in all video games. I also hate how we slide to the palm readers. Don't care for it. From Miranda. I was doing some reading while the last trial was running, and I came across something I don't understand. There are a lot of references to ancient human feelings that science is boring. To me, everything we're studying is mind-bendingly incredible, whether it's quark-gluon deconfinement or neutrino-antineutrino oscillations, or even something incredibly basic like the properties of light. Fuck you, Miranda. But I understand why our ancestors cared about art, why a beautifully crafted story or poem was moving to them. But how could they not see that everything that surrounds us is just as incredible? Studying science is like studying the most incredible machine ever created, a machine designed to build worlds and tell stories. How could they not see that? I'm sure there's a good explanation, but I don't get it. Looking, watching, seeing God again.
Mother, what are you thinking about, Mother?
The Talos Principle. You see, it has two applications. One is to the self. It means facing the truth even if it frightens us. Understanding that living beings are machines and we can't afford to lie to ourselves. But that's just the beginning. The second application is to the world. This one seems easier at first. It's less difficult to understand that the universe is a machine, governed by laws.
So we and the universe are the same.
No, and that's the crucial part. We are conscious. Consciousness is rare, unlikely, but it's also the foundation of everything else. Without us, there can be no meaning. Without someone to perceive it, the beauty of the universe is pointless. But that shouldn't make us arrogant. No, in fact, it means we carry a tremendous responsibility. We are the light of the cosmos. And if we go out, there will be nothing but a cold, dark machine.
Interesting. Oh, Jesus.
Athena.
The founder was here?
She could still be here. What if this is why she left, to build all this? We have to look for her.
I'm reading some pretty big energy spikes. I think we better scramble.
But she could be right here, right behind the next door. I could turn around a corner and walk right into her.
If she's really here, she'll still be here when we come back. But right now, safety needs to come first. Let's go, Byron.
You're... Oh. Damn you, but you're right. Heading back.
Feels like that big old cistern in Dark Souls 3 where there was that horrible monstrosity that I fought. I know that that's not very descriptive about specifically where I'm talking about, but the one that you had to access through the big ladder.
Was that really the founder?
I think so.
It was her. For years, I've wondered what happened to her, why she left, where she went, why she didn't tell me.
If the answers are here, I promise you we'll find them. We just have to be careful. Follow protocol.
I still can't believe the founder built this place. Has she been here the whole time?
We don't know that she actually built it.
Okay,
All we
that's
know
what
for
I was
sure
gonna
is
say.
that she was here at some point.
Was she? Do we even know that?
Of course she built this.
Oh my god.
Who else would have the kind of vision necessary to accomplish something like this? The question is why? And why like this? Why recreate all these aspects of the simulation? What is she trying to tell us?
It does seem like it might be a test. I can't imagine any other explanation. But why is it so broken? Or does it just appear to be broken so that we have to learn how to fix it? I hate this.
Well, I know one thing for sure. Everyone in New Jerusalem is gonna go absolutely nuts.
Excerpt Ulysses. How dull it is to pause, to make an end, to rust unburnished, not to shine in use. As though to breathe were life, life piled on life were all too little, and of one to me little remains, but every hour is saved from that eternal silence, something more, a bringer of new things, and vile it were for some 3 suns to store and hoard myself, and this grey spirit yearning in desire to follow knowledge like a sinking star beyond the utmost bound of human thought. All right. I think Byron's gonna get himself disappointed, but I don't see that he's gonna get himself scrapped. I missed in here. This feels like very radioactive, just saying. Or maybe we'll all die. I don't really care yet. They haven't made me really care yet. Wait, what about that elevator?
All right, take us back to base camp, Yakut.
Yes, sir. I'm getting some new readings. Looks like 2 of the northern sites are lighting up.
I think that may have been me. I suspect the puzzles are somehow tied to the transport system. Like we're supposed to solve them in a particular order.
Objective is getting back into the megastructure.
Is it?
1K, I want you on puzzles. You seem to have a knack for them. But the rest of us can't neglect our secondary objectives of studying this island and understanding this technology.
I solve puzzles. Yay. Yay, I solve puzzles. They do so good.
You should be headed towards an island off the northern coast. The terrain's pretty rough, so be careful.
The island hasn't...
Okay. Wow, this sucks. I wonder why that keeps happening. boy. This feels like the tower in the last one. I extremely hate that they're already here when I get here. 2.
Everything okay?
Did you know the founder?
I sure did. Not as well as Byron, but she was still around when I was born. I remember she came and talked to me after New Alexandria, told me how sorry she was. I never blamed her for that. It wasn't her responsibility. For some reason, we'd convinced ourselves that New Jerusalem wasn't enough, that we needed another city. We thought it would be easier the second time around. All it takes is a little bit of arrogance and a little bit of ignorance, and people die. A lot busier than it is now. My most defining memory is that it was extremely noisy, because something was always being built. Got annoying after a while.
Man, like, realistically, I have no true desire to, for example, like, ever see Mount Everest. I just don't feel like I need to go through that. I feel like there's a lot of things for me in life that I just don't need to do that one. But, fuck is you? But mountains are cool.
Miranda is the founder's daughter. It's still kind of blowing my mind. She came all the way out here, left everything she had behind, and created a new life. Why do you think she did that?
I hate it when video games make me be maternal.
Miranda is certainly amazing, at least from what she sounds like. I can imagine that it must feel very special to be her parent. On the other hand, we're not like ancient humans. We're not born as babies. Would you have preferred to have a family?
Some guidance would have been nice.
Fair enough. You did get thrown in at the deep end.
Uh-huh. How are you feeling?
I'm not sure, to be honest. This is all so surreal. Walking around here is so peaceful, but it's also, I don't know. One moment I feel inspired, the next, kind of creeped out.
Why is the northern part of the island mostly underwater?
Our ancestors relied heavily on fossil fuels for energy generation, which released a lot of carbon dioxide. This caused the atmosphere to trap more heat, which changed the planet's overall climate. The effect continued even after they were gone, and these low-lying areas were flooded. I've seen a lot of places like that.
Did you ever meet the founder?
I never did. I would have loved to.
Have you changed your mind about trying some puzzles?
Nope.
Okay. What did you make of the megastructure?
You know, people throw around the word awesome a lot. I probably do it too, but I think what we saw in there is the proper meaning of the word.
You're not even going to define the archaic meaning of awe? Right now. Shit, where did it go? Nope, it's gone. I knew it wasn't the tallest depending on how you chose to measure it, yeah. But it is definitely covered in poo and dead bodies. Did it go back there? Can't quite see. Well, hopefully it remains wherever it went, and we'll find it again later. Let's just slow down and go through this in the order they want us to, I guess. Oh, I'm not scared. I am not concerned. I just wasn't sure if it was on a timer or if it reset or if it stayed where you lost it. Is no one gonna comment on this? This seems fucked up.
What the?
Really? Fucking really? What if I forget which body is actually mine? Oh my god. Is it different? I'm in here now. I don't understand the platform. Oh, no, I'm just a dumbass. Do I need a third guy? Do I need so many friends? Oh no. Oh. Boo. Boo, 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 boo. Dumb and I hate this. Better than the recording puzzles, yes. I won't argue with that, but this is... But, like, forced two-player.
To be honest with you, Byron, I feel like a caveman trying to study Bose-Einstein condensate. I'm seeing unknown particles whose every property violates the laws of physics, apparently capable of being controlled and recombined into just about anything. It's ridiculous.
Maybe someone in New Jerusalem can figure it out.
Sure, just give them another 1,000 years.
That's not what I wanted. Doesn't look like it works, but okay. Ah. 'Cause it doesn't work. I wish there was a hotkey to swap bodies. 2-player, 1 body. Boo.
Neatly done, 1K.
I need my water bottle. Hold on. 1 second. Hold on. Yeah, that's fair. Okay, bye.
1K. I've been watching you solve these puzzles, and
Their eyes are very creepy.
this body replication tech is incredible. It just casually blows up the very foundations of our society.
Uh-oh. What do you mean?
Do you have any idea how hard it is to make more of us?
No.
We're not like a toaster. You don't just weld together a couple of wires and a motherboard and call it a day. Not to mention how hard it is to even find some of the materials.
She mad.
And this thing just, poof, new human.
Well, the goal was to stop at 1,000, right?
It was. Or was it? And even if it was, sorry to be heretical, but does it matter? If we can figure out how this works, we can finally, easily create more people. We can grow. We can expand. We can build a real civilization. Isn't that worth pursuing?
I'm sorry, this is very stupid. Now, I have not been like a watch person, but there's this one brand of watch that I really like, and they were on really deep discounted sale. I think around Black Friday. They were getting rid of all last year's stock, so it was like real sales, not like bullshit Black Friday sales. So I got a $40 watch, which is pretty good, because I used to buy $20 watches like 10 years ago, and it's basically the same amount of money, but they had free engraving, so... Oh, I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it. I got it to say Alidus. Engraved my watch, it says Alidus. How silly. Alright. I don't agree with any of these. Their cosmic duty to spread consciousness? No. Maybe there are legitimate reasons to limit the population. I mean, yeah, but I kind of want to be supportive of Melville right now. I don't really have an opinion about this. I mean, I kind of don't. Maybe there's some point where there's enough, but this is not it. I don't think that's necessarily true. This is very dangerous. We decided to limit ourselves for a reason.
The mayor seems to think so. But why? What are the actual reasons?
I don't give a shit about the Founder. I do not give a shit about the Founder. I'm sorry. The planet is more important than us. We should not impose ourselves on it. I don't wholly agree with that. I mean, risk of upsetting the balance of nature. We are part of the balance of nature. We can be the part of the balance of nature. I think.
What balance? The balance of nature is just a snapshot of an arbitrary point in time. The planet changes constantly, causing extinctions left and right. Ice ages come and go. The oxygen level fluctuates. The oceans rise and fall. The only reason our ancestors believed in this balance is because their bloody lifespans were so short.
But what about the risk to civilization if there's so many of us that we damage the planet?
But there's no correlation between the amount of people and changes to the ecosphere. Not unless we're talking a population of trillions. There's nothing mystical about this. No ifs and maybes. I've run the maths. It's how we use our resources, not how many of us there are.
I don't really want to continue this.
You do that. You'll have plenty of time when you're solving puzzles.
Well, that was kind of mean. Trying to tell me I don't use my brain for other things while I'm solving puzzles?
This body replication technology is proof of just how vital this expedition is. We may not know how it works and what its limitations are, but the technology itself isn't even what really matters. What matters is to expand our imagination, to realize that other futures are possible. And 1K, just think about this. If we had stopped making new citizens, you wouldn't be here.
Don't
And isn't it wonderful to exist?
give me that.
To be in this world?
Don't give me that.
Consciousness is a gift.
Well, if you had been aborted, wouldn't you be sad? Fuck off.
Yes?
Did you ever meet the Founder?
Of course I did. She and Cornelius were both there when I was born. Neath was just starting to take over back then, and they were still showing her the ropes.
What was she like?
Busy. There was always another problem to solve. Did you know that she never upgraded her body? Always prioritized everyone else. That's the kind of work ethic I wish more people had.
So, I would agree with this if... they weren't robots. Does that mean I'm just refusing to engage with the basic concept of they have sentience, the end? They have consciousness, the end?
I suppose so. For me, living is doing. But I understand that other people have more varied needs.
Do you ever crave companionship?
I've never felt the need for a partner as such. I've met a lot of people who do. Athena and Cornelius, Atal and Damien, Sarabai and Hypatia. But that's not really for me. So far, at least. But I do have social needs like anyone. What I like is a pleasant buzz of humanity. Not too close, not too far. Something I can be part of without having it get in my face all the time.
Mood. Nice coffee shop white noise. Alright. Could these visions affect my mind? Probably.
The data stream overloads? Yes, they could. There are safeguards to prevent that from happening, but these aren't exactly carefully controlled circumstances. It's hard to predict. Our brains are absurdly complicated, which is why it's so hard to make more of us.
Why do you think the founder left New Jerusalem?
Maybe she just got sick of things breaking all the time.
I really think it's interesting how everybody describes their personal biases. You know, what exactly can these particle clouds do?
As far as I can tell, anything, which is insane.
How do you feel about Mayor Herman's policies?
I used to think it was the only safe way forward. Keep things simple and under control. Now I'm not so sure that ever made sense.
What do you think about Miranda?
She's so innocent and full of wonder, it should make me want to retch, metaphorically speaking. But I'll admit, she's sort of charming.
Okay.
How can I help you?
Tell me a joke.
Okay. How many robots does it take to change a light bulb? Replacing a light bulb is a waste of resources, and the founder would be outraged.
That's hilarious.
Herman didn't seem to think so.
Why do you believe that there should be more people?
I think every single human being is completely unique, and every instance of consciousness is a miracle. The more of us there are, the more alive the universe is. And the more we all interact with each other, the more complex the life of the universe becomes. So I believe that people are a fundamental good. I don't believe we're all flawless, but I think every one of us matters precisely because nothing else does.
Does your faith in humanity ever waver?
In the principle of it, no. It's not just that I believe humanity is fundamentally good, although I do. It's that I think sentience is the foundation of everything else. What's the point of stars and galaxies, of hills and forests, without someone to perceive them? But my faith that we can actually grow up, that we can break out of these loops and take control of our destiny, that's something I struggle with every single day.
What is the point of galaxies without a human to perceive them? The galaxy need a point. Are we really that? I don't know. I can't ascribe that much importance to consciousness. I just can't. What if Athena left the island long ago?
Then at least we may be able to find out what happened in New Jerusalem, why she came here. But I don't think she left the island. I think she's still here, waiting for us to make the right choices.
What makes you think that?
It's hard to articulate. There just seems to be so much intent here. There has to be a reason for all this. And Athena is the only reason that makes sense. She did, yes.
Is that usual?
Some people in New Jerusalem choose to live in family units, although usually that involves marriage or equivalent ceremonies, not having children. You could say that Athena was a kind of mother to us, and Cornelius a kind of father, but it's not quite the same.
Do you think the megastructure technology could be misused? Well, we really haven't... Have we found any technology in the megastructure? I feel like the tech we just found here is kind of worse than that. I mean, big lasers are... Okay.
Could be? Yes, of course. All technology has the potential to be misused. From fire and the wheel to whatever makes these particle clouds. But that doesn't mean it has to be.
How did Mayor get elected?
Herman? Honestly, I think he makes people feel safe. The world beyond our walls is frightening. Human history is full of failures and disasters. It's easy to look at that and recoil. Herman offers a vision of the future that feels contained, manageable.
Life will always be a struggle.
I don't think I fully agree. I think someday, maybe, life could be less of a struggle than it is now. But to achieve that will take a great deal of work. We will have to build the systems that make a better world possible. Because they refused to grow up. They refused to take control of their lives. They let bureaucrats and financiers determine their destiny, and those people could not think beyond themselves, beyond the tiny, insignificant moment they were trapped in. Their technology could have saved them, but what really failed them was their imagination.
Feels like there's a logical fallacy in here somewhere. Between his, you know, unthinking devotion to the robot humans, and you get enough fucking robot humans and you're gonna get some financiers.
In the sense of an interventionist deity? No. I wouldn't rule out the possibility, but it's not something I personally believe. But I do think there is something genuinely sublime in this universe, and it's right in front of us. Consciousness. The fact that this sense of self is even possible, that an arrangement of matter can produce a self-aware mind? Think about it. It's a fundamental property of the universe, an unbreakable law that matter has the inherent capacity to become more than the sum of its parts. That is the definition of transcendence. Athena was always trying to understand the reality underneath what we perceive, the objective truth. That's why she was capable of leaving the simulation. And even after she was free, she never stopped trying to understand more. I suspect her research took her another step closer to understanding the truth. And such steps always challenge our conception of the universe. But that's the wonderful thing about science. We can adapt our views to the evidence.
I feel like there's just a little too much philosophy. me I can't get that? Ah! This is... I hate this. This is dumb. Definitely sounds like Spyro end credits music. He's such a troll.
We cannot return to the past, but the future can redeem all that has happened.
Not very clear where the like world cutoff is. Maybe it just isn't. This is ridiculously far away.
There's an old saying about how, in the end, the sea will claim everything. I have no doubt that this is true. In the long history of the human species, Entire regions have disappeared under the waves. Places like Beringia and Doggerland still echo in our cultural memories. But we shouldn't forget that life began in the sea. We are the children of the sea. And it's not through floods and ruin that the sea will claim everything, but through us.
I imagine the fan just takes me back up to the top. Yeah, I'm sure. I wasn't expecting to be able to get down here. It seems crazy. I don't understand why they let me come all the way down here. They're like battery terminals, you know? You can't bridge them. Pew! Get smashed. Really? Yay! I don't think it's gonna matter. I think I just can't take more than one of them out. And I think if I jump one over... Nope, just kidding. Well... now, devs. Crap. Ouch.
Everything okay?
What do you think about the body replication tech?
It seems like something that could very quickly get out of control. You know that saying about good intentions? If we can solve problems by just making more people, how long before people just become a problem-solving tool?
Fair enough. Capitalism. Oh, come on, I can reach that. Oh, did I have to get somebody out? Seems like it. Oh no, I can't get them past here. Ugh. That must be the answer. Can't really see how to do this otherwise. Oh, I can't. Alright, they figured, or they got me. It's not... I can't take him over outside of the bounds of the test. Then this feels weird for this to be the answer, too. I wanna paraglide! Well, it can't be the answer. Not the answer. Oh, I can't take the box. Interesting. Okay, interesting. All right. There's another GTA, Jesus. got stuck on the idea of trying to hand the cube over that I forgot to try to hand this over. Or maybe I can't. There we go. Oh, right. Same trick, just... You haven't forgotten the trick. It's the same trick. I don't like having to think for two people. Ugh. Forgot what the little gold thing in the middle was for a second. Yeah, and I was never good at Portal 2 co-op. I've never been able to play that without just getting in a giant rip-roaring fight with whoever I'm playing with. How would the connector have worked on the button? You can't put the connector on the button and also have it open the door. The door needs to be open. So the connector has to be outside of here. Right? Oh. Well, sure, fine. Oh, I see. You're saying I went one step too far. Fine, fair, yes. That was a cat. No, you're fine. I just completely misunderstood what you were going for. Like a smart person.
As we continue exploring the cold northern reaches of the island, the contrast between the harshness of this place and the softness of New Jerusalem becomes more and more pronounced. There is a kind of madness in what we are doing. going to a place that is so hostile to our existence. That does not mean there is nothing to love here. There is, in fact, a great beauty. But it is a hateful beauty. A beauty you can only love because there are places that are not like this. And yet, it is precisely this hateful beauty that the people of New Jerusalem fail to see, and so cannot understand their own blessings.
I am, for some reason, like, less enamored with this as an area. Like, it's great, it's beautiful, but I'm not as interested in looking at all of it. I don't know why the woods seem to hold more secrets to me. I think when places are too uniform in color, I just have a hard time making myself interested. I am a baby. I need bright colors. Whatever that space game that Co was playing the other day, he was so excited about the environments. He was like, oh, this looks so cool, this is so interesting, and I was just like, it's sand. I need some plants. What is this called? Passing through. Really? That's what we're not doing. Okay. Alright, fine. Why am I trying to do this the hard way, you dipshit? Alright, so we need this in here. Ah, yes. This is the wrong answer. I'm sleepy. Get them. Can't get them close enough. That doesn't utilize the platform. Okay. Sure.
I can't imagine spending years in such a desolate place. For what? Science? Enlightenment? I'd much rather be back home in New Jerusalem.
I think it's beautiful in its own way. But I don't understand how our ancestors could survive here. They were so fragile. Imagine getting stuck out here in the cold. I wonder if there are wolves.
It's kind of a miracle biological humans lasted as long as they did.
Hey, we went out there. Grid, are you tuned in? Probably not, or you would have said hi at some point. On Cornelius, from the personal reminiscences of Mitku. There are some people whose true importance you just don't notice at first. People who quietly hold things together without making a big deal of it. That's what Cornelius was. Always by Athena's side, he calmly and carefully helped us all stay on track, reminding us of our shared humanity and the values that had brought us this far. I cannot imagine how painful it must have been when Athena left him behind. When he went on his so-called research expedition, most people thought he went looking for her. To be honest, I thought he might never come back, and I was surprised when he finally did. I still don't understand how she could leave him. They seemed to love each other so deeply. After he returned, Cornelius was different. He founded the Museum of the Simulation and very rarely left its premises. The archive scholars doted on him, but he walled himself off, becoming almost as much as a recluse as Eustathius. And only then did I slowly understand how much the city had lost. God appears and God is light to those poor souls who dwell in night, but does a human form display to those who dwell in realms of day? Oh yeah, right. Excerpted from Considerations by Eustathius. While it is hard from our vantage point to believe in any of the ancient religions, I must admit that I have come to believe in the existence of a prime mover. Not a designer as such, certainly not an interventionist god, but some force that sets the universe itself into motion. I do not know if it's possible for us to ever truly understand this being, since it must by definition exist outside our understanding of reality, but I do believe it exists. Does it look upon us with love? Are we entertainment, perhaps? Does it preserve some memory of us when we die? All of this I cannot answer. But I do not disbelieve those who honestly speak of having experienced some manner of brief communication with this entity. It's simply too common an experience in humanity's history, or in human history, to discount. As the motion of the universe proceeds from the Big Bang, so whatever force animates us, whatever constitutes the true foundation of consciousness, proceeds from the prime mover. What do you think about this, Mother? I don't believe in any kind of prime mover, but I thought you should read it because Eustathius is an intelligent person, and he came to this conclusion after a great deal of thought. It's important to respectfully consider points of view we don't agree with. On Modernity, from the Book of Annotated Internet Comments by Eustathius. If modernity is so great, why is everyone so fundamentally disappointed with the world? Why do we sigh with pleasure at the sight of old houses but feel nothing but depressed and alienated by skyscrapers? Why do we yearn for lush forests and wide plains, not narrow canyons between buildings? If we love all this technology so much, why is our idea of happiness to get away from it? Could it be that progress is just a story we tell ourselves to justify why we allow ourselves to be dominated by inhumanity, and older forms of living have something to offer? It seems that many of us share this desire to immerse ourselves in nature. Though we are ourselves entirely technological beings, we enjoy and value the Earth's diverse and unpredictable biosphere. But does that mean that progress is just a narrative, as this ancient commenter suggests, or does it mean that technological progression and a love of the natural world are not, in fact, mutually exclusive? And yet, if this person was left on his own somewhere in the wilderness, he would feel nothing but terror. The appreciation of nature is rooted in the experience of civilization, of safety. True, but he's still right. So much of what our ancestors created in their last years was alienating to the majority of people. Then the question isn't of modernity, but of control. Yep, there we go. Sorry, I got a message grid.
life is inherently valuable. If we think that other species are worth preserving, and we recognize that most of the universe is barren, then it follows that we have a duty not only to defend life, but to spread it. If life is the most valuable thing in the universe, then perhaps in a sense, the cosmos itself is depending on us to do this. Like birds carrying seeds to uninhabited islands. Maybe that's our role in the galactic ecology.
Is this gonna be like the long game? Is this gonna be just a long, quiverful? Propaganda piece? Oh my god. Two more. No, one more. Well, one more in a triangle. Oh god. I have a lot of things that I haven't looked at. Please keep discussion of the alleged presence of the founder at the site of the megastructure confined to this thread. I'm still in shock. I wasn't even sure the founder was still alive. Of course she is. And now that we've reached the completion day, she sent us her sacred messengers. Oh my god, this is weird cult worship. It could still be aliens pretending to be the founder. It's not aliens, and if Prometheus and Pandora are her sacred messengers, why is one apparently chained to the other? The day of her return is imminent! So now you agree that Bywin was right to want an expedition? In fact, it was the Founder's will all along? And when you said it would be wrong to even consider going to the island, you were acting against the Founder? Your word games aren't going to help you when the Founder returns. It was wonderful to hear Athena's voice again, but with all the emotion inherent in this matter, we should be careful not to get swept away. We don't really understand anything yet. I can't help but wonder, if Miranda is her daughter, was Athena trying to start a new civilization? Did she abandon New Jerusalem? She was always a leader. Maybe she just wanted to experience something private. A valid point. She had enormous responsibilities from the very beginning. And while we were a family, she had too many burdens to ever have a private life of her own. I understand your point, but why leave Cornelius behind then? Well, that's none of our business. Fair enough. Body Republican. I believe the results of human history speak for themselves, and I find it shocking that anyone would disagree with something so obvious. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. The technology discovered by the expedition changes everything. Every argument about how hard it is to access the resources necessary to create more of us goes out the window. We can create more people. 1K doesn't have to be the last, and it would be easy. Are we really going to give up just because of the goal? Does this really create new people? Because it just seemed to transfer my consciousness. It didn't really seem to create anybody new. Energy doesn't come from nowhere. We have no idea what the real cost behind this technology is. Besides, the goal is an ideal, not just a limit we ran into by accident. It's the will of the Founder. Yeah, right. It's not necessary to share a personal belief in the Founder to understand the value of the goal. It's clear to all but the most radical that humanity needs limits for its own sake and for the sake of the planet. You say that as if it were self-evident. It's not. You're smuggling a whole host of misanthropic ideals into the conversation under the disguise of reasonableness. Today is not a reading day, apparently. Your premises are completely rotten. I believe the results of human history speak for themselves, and I found it shocking that anyone would disagree with something so obvious. Shocked that anyone would value human beings and think that maybe our ancestors could have solved their problems using their brains instead of preaching misery for all? That maybe there's some fucking point in blaming other factors beyond technology and growth? Like, I don't know, people in positions of authority preaching their self-important beep morality instead of trying to solve ordinary people's problems? I like how they're self-censoring. Authority, I'm just an academic. That's completely disingenuous and you know it. Your clique has the mayor's ear. Clique, I assure you there's no such thing. This conversation is getting out of hand. If you can't behave, I'm shutting this thread down. Are you trying to make me take a stance on censorship? Jesus Christ. Sorry to have irritated you, 1K, but thank you for speaking up. New Jerusalem is a democracy, and without free speech, democracy is a sham. A lovely sentiment, but you should try moderating this forum and see what it's like. If every conversation is allowed to explode, instability is guaranteed. We have to set reasonable limits on behavior. Thread closed. Wow. Somebody finally slapped me down. 1K, Linux here. It seems we share a mutual acquaintance. Doge thinks we could work well together. Given the careful analysis you shared with us in the city, I tend to agree. What is this all about? I like to connect with people who put facts before faith, so I'll be direct. The powers that prefer to keep our society in stasis. They'd rather you were the last of our kind than to seek new ways for us to live. They'd rather avoid big questions than reveal answers they may not like. But I can't accept that it's wrong to use what we know to solve the problems before us. We wouldn't be here without technological solutions, learning, growth, mistakes. Those things are what we are. I know we both have hope for the future, and your expedition beyond the city walls presents a rare opportunity, which leads me to my purpose in contacting you. Before we get to that, I know you're an inquiring mind. What would you like to know? Who are you? We have to make these robots see God, and by God I mean Reddit. That's fucking quitters. Fucking pansy ass quitters. They can't even moderate a 1,000-person forum. Come on. I have to agree with you, C, though. And there aren't even 1,000 because we've lost a bunch of them. There's a lot less than that. I'm the chief engineer of fluid dynamics. Our city runs on hydroelectric power. We'd be better off building nuclear reactors, but I just run the dam, our place of birth and source of life. So what do I know? And hey, maybe they're right. Maybe if we had more energy, we'd grow so fast we'd suffocate. I'd just rather test that hypothesis than spend eternity fixing leaks. Where are you? Knee-deep in river water, pulling tin cans from overflow sluice 8. Our ancestors so loved their tin cans. Why are you? I do physics, not metaphysics, but I'll give it a go. I suppose in the beginning there was nothing, and nothing implies something, and the zeros and ones got progressively more complex until eventually you and I popped out. I don't feel like this was the right answer. I don't think I wanted to be with the engineer. Like, really? I don't know. I think I fucked up. I just want you to know, I just want to know what you want with me. I think the island you're exploring holds knowledge far in advance of our own. There will be a great pressure on your team to leave it hidden, but those secrets belong to us all. We all deserve to learn and to grow. I just want you to approach your work using the scientific outlook you've been programmed with. Ask questions. Be open to answers which challenge your assumptions. And above all, if what you find has consequences for us all, you must not keep it to yourself. Well, we already encountered advanced technologies. I know! Byron and I have been anticipating this opportunity for some time. I'm certain you're going to find more. I wish in return I could share everything I know with you, but that time will come. For now, I need to ask that you keep our relationship between us. The dynamics in New Jerusalem are complex enough. So what do you think? Are you willing to work with me? Whatever. Well, usually there's a bit more of a ceremony when someone new joins the cause. Nothing fancy. A subtle branding with hydrogen peroxide, but that'll have to wait until you're new to the city. In the meantime, welcome to the Society Systemica. Wait, this is some kind of secret society? I'd say it's more of a special interest working group. Nothing is more important to science than transparency, and at the same time we don't always have the luxury of ignoring social realities, which sometimes demand discretion. Which is to say, I can't exactly refute your suggestion, but I'd certainly discourage it. Is there a secret handshake? Well, yes, now that you mention it. Although it's actually a randomly generated code phrase. 44 laughing lullabies. Are there rules? You'd think so, but we largely depend on shared ideals. There may be no specific rule set, but I trust that we all know an error when we see one. Are there others? Other members of the Systemica, or other groups like ours? To be fair, I can't tell you as much about either as I'd like, but reason would suggest that you and I are not unique in this world. I miss these. From the degree to which vegetation seems to have spread, I would guess that the megastructure has been abandoned for a while, although the combination of moisture and heat does create an ideal environment for plant growth. What makes it harder to be sure is that some plants have clearly been placed for decorative purposes, so a lot of what we're seeing may have spread from there rather than coming in from the outside. Surprisingly beautiful, but also kind of creepy. The founder appears to have developed a technology that prints new bodies using those particle clouds we're already familiar with. These bodies come with a protocol for instantly transferring the user's mind. I cannot sufficiently underline how mad this is. The implications would be breathtaking if we breathed. There seem to be a number of safeguards. So far I've not been able to get this tech to work outside of the puzzles. I did manage to sort of make sense of the mind transfer protocol, however, and I'm uploading all the data I've collected. It'll need to be studied extensively before it can be used, but I can think of a lot of potential applications. What really grinds my gears, though, is how casually it's all deployed. It takes us ages to make a new body, and there's a whole bunch of them doing no more than holding up platforms or standing on pressure plates. Is this all a joke? I don't really understand what possible function the structure could have, but it's really, really impressive. Hold on, could that be its function? Just to be impressive? Grid, I need you to make rice. From Quentin to Athena, dear founder, I never got to know you. People tell all these stories about you and I don't know what to believe. Some people say to ask Cornelius, others say Cornelius is too blinded by grief. Some say Byron stands for the truth. Some say Byron stands for the truth, others say he's a fanatic and a radical and we should listen to the mayor. There doesn't seem to be a way of getting a straight answer. Why did you abandon us all to this chaos? Why can't you just come back and sort it out? If you're reading these messages, don't you care? To Athena, dear founder, thank you for everything you did for us. I'm grateful for the life that I have, which would not exist without you. I hope wherever you are now, you are at peace. New labs established to avoid interference for successful duplication of advanced machinery. Data collection and analysis, translation, groping in the dark. QFT fails to account for this. Must rerun trials. Maybe God was just trying to make an apple pie from scratch.
This looks like it has something to do with energy generation. Am I reading this right?
From Belzerzan to Athena, O great and sacred founder, I believe I have discovered the truth that our so-called leaders have hidden from us. This absurd and sacrilegious goal they have us working towards, this hubristic completion day foolishness, was never your true intent. Even this abomination of a city that calls itself New Jerusalem is a deception. Why would you want us to return to the sinful ways of our ancestors, strangling the living soil with steel and concrete? No, it was when you and the first companions lived humbly amongst the splendors of Gaia, having no need for all this wasteful ostentation inherited from our weak and decadent ancestors, that you showed us the true path. After all, why would the progenitor have given us such hardy bodies if she had intended for us to live in unearned luxury? From the very first, we were built to be free from pride and material excess. Your teachings have been obscured and perverted by ideologues. Worst of all by the traitor Byron, who was once like a son to you. But you should know that there are still those of us who remember the truth and await the blessed day of your return, when surely justice will be meted out and humanity will finally return to its intended path. Hallowed be thy name. We assembled on the vast green lawn outside as the reactors began slowly to wind down. The workers were solemn. The activists who'd fought against the decommissioning seemed crushed. There was supposed to be a speech, but the spokeswoman had lost her notes. Outside, the protesters cheered. My eyes were drawn to the discarded anti-shutdown banners, endlessly reciting the facts. The statistics on mortality per trillion kilowatt, lowest of all energy sources. The lifespan of a reactor, 70 more years in our case. Minimal land footprint, almost zero emissions, no intermittency. It became a jumble of words, a litany. Almost a kind of glossolalia. As far as the protesters outside were concerned, it might as well be an alien tongue. One thing was clear to them, and that was enough. The technology inside this compound was deeply, inherently wrong. It was a sin. I could not help but think of that moment on August 6, 1945, when the sky erupted above Shima Hospital. My imagination could never fully encompass it. How do you imagine more than 70,000 people annihilated in an instant? An ancestor of mine was in that hospital. He went from being a doctor, a husband, a father, a pacifist stuck in a terrible war, to being a pile of bleached bones covered in rubble, all in a single second. Not by accident, but because of a choice someone made. Not because of a reactor, but because of a bomb. Just 2 days earlier, contradicting his campaign promises, the Prime Minister had suggested that the use of tactical nuclear weapons would be an acceptable risk if the conflict continued. Very few seemed to find this particularly shocking or outrageous. They were afraid of reactors, but not of bombs. The spokeswoman gave up on finding her notes. It was starting to rain, and people were walking away. She'd grabbed the microphone. "By the time you regret this, it'll be too late," she said. "But honestly, I don't know if I care anymore. Maybe you have it coming." The spokeswoman sounds so bitter. The protesters didn't mean any harm. From their perspective, they were doing good. People always think they're doing good when they get collectively outraged. That doesn't make them right. Collective action can change the world when it's deliberate and based in reason, but can also become a mental trap or a societal pressure valve. Thought-terminating cliché. To Miranda, as you continue your reading, there's a useful concept that I would like you to keep in mind. The thought-terminating cliché. This is a type of phrase, often a slogan or a saying, which sounds meaningful, but is really intended to make you stop thinking. To pick an example from our history, someone in the simulation might say things like, "It is the will of Elohim," or "It serves the process." And that would be that. Case closed. Who knows how many iterations never advanced further because they just stopped thinking at that point. Do note, however, that a thought-terminating cliché is not the same as a lie. It may very well contain elements of truth, but those elements are used to keep you from questioning a whole set of assumptions that come with it, which may be partially or totally false. This often takes the form of appealing to something you care about. We must protect X, where X is a nation, a philosophy, a public order, or even the planet itself. But while you may agree with the element, all kinds of assumptions may be included about how to protect something, or who to protect it from, or what the end goal of protecting it is. If you stop there just because you agree with the surface-level statement, the results may be the opposite of everything you wanted, like those who chose to serve Elohim and in so doing prevented him from achieving his true purpose. gonna solve this puzzle first. Why am I opening red? I need blue first. Oh, maybe I just need them both. That's fine. Hey, Crunk. Man, Grid isn't answering me, and then we're gonna not be able to have rice. Well, we're gonna have rice. It's just gonna be in like 45 minutes after I stop streaming. Oh, I gave up immediately.
I'm glad to see all those overloads haven't damaged your logic circuits.
I felt the inflection point in my mind. I was like, do I care about this? And then I went, yes, I do care about this, but I don't want to care about this. So then I tried to take the other one out of the puzzle, and once it let me, I just went, oh well. No idea who I am anymore. Not a clue. Oh. Enlightening, thank you.
Where
was that path that I said I was gonna come back to? Ah, here it is. I really don't want to comb these mountains looking for a tricycle. From Arkady Chernyshevsky's In Our Likeness, Essays on Humankind Reaching Adulthood. With alarming frequency, our mythological narratives conceptualize our separation from nature as a fall, a punishment for sinning, a loss of innocence, a decline from a golden age. We believe that a better state of humanity is possible, but insist that this state must be in the past, and yet our historical experience has been the exact opposite. For all the horrors of modern war, and they are considerable, relatively few people today have to suffer the unspeakable agonies that our ancestors went through on a daily basis. It is doubly ironic that we place our golden ages in the past, but very rarely ever consider what life was actually like for the people whose genes we carry. How cold they were, how hungry, how frightened of the cruelty of nature, what unspeakable pains they must have experienced when they were sick or injured. How many of their children they had to lose, unable to help, begging the heavens for mercy and never receiving an answer. The past is a slowly receding tidal wave of grief. The battle for human emancipation is not yet won, and the path has been far from straightforward, and yet, in but a few thousand years, we've eliminated a great deal of suffering that before must have seemed unavoidable and eternal. Some still suffer, their lives held ransom by politics and economics, but at least now we know that a better world is truly possible, and it lies in the future. From Hypatia's Journals, Volume 1, The Founding of New Jerusalem, Day 132. We had a bit of an incident today, nothing major, but it still woke us all up. Sun was away from the camp, alone, even though we had agreed that we should always go in teams, and she encountered a group of the herbivores that we saw on the first day. Cows, they're called. Apparently our ancestors kept them as livestock. Eustathius says they squeezed them for liquid, but I find that hard to believe. But I digress. Sun encountered a herd, and just as predicted, the animals were passive at first, friendly even. Sun decided to abandon her survey to study them for a while, which went well, until a group of wolves, formerly dogs, a type of pet, entered the clearing, causing a stampede. Sun's all right, only minor scratches to the bodywork and a few torn wires, but it was a close call. I guess we'd gotten a little complacent, a little too comfortable. We'll have to be more careful from now on.
Now I have to talk science fiction for a bit because I love science fiction, but it drives me nuts. There's this cliche that shows up over and over, and every time someone uses it, everyone pretends it's really profound. It goes something like this. A scientist invents something good, but, oh no, it's actually really bad. You could have something that makes your life better, but no, you can't. How dare you even want it? That's hubris. That's playing God. And it's never anything that reflects the real world, right? It's never, oh no, you invented a vaccine for cervical cancer. Oh no, you invented a new class of antibiotics. Oh no, you cured malaria. How dare you? Those diseased mosquitoes are way more important than human lives. How did science fiction become so reactionary? You know, if we all thought this way, you guys wouldn't even exist. At least Alex agrees with me. She has good taste.
I mean, I'm sure there are people saying, oh no, they created a vaccine for cervical cancer because that, of course, prevents the punishment of this, you know, of the hussies. If you're going to have sex, you need to get cancer and die. Somewhere in the Bible, I think. I don't know. I think it's getting, I mean, we have a lot of game left to go for it to be wearing thin on me now, but it's wearing a little thin on me because I don't know, my personal perspective is you just try your best. That's it. That's my whole philosophy. What is meaningful? Whatever is meaningful is what you ascribe meaning to. That's it. Do your best. Is my best gonna look some different than somebody else's best? Yes. Is that my problem? Not really. Can it possibly be my problem? No. It can't. It can't be. Cannot be my problem. So while I joke with the meatloaf line of forget the question, someone bring me another beer, I kind of like, I really do fundamentally feel that. I mean, I never took a freshman philosophy class, so I have never taken a philosophy class in my life, so I can't be preemptively tired of the arguments because I have not had to experience them, but shoot, it is 9:55. Alright, if I can solve this one quick, we're gonna solve this one quick, but we're not gonna finish the end of this area. Drilling party. Sexy. Actually, maybe I should leave this one as a warm-up for tomorrow. Or next time. I will be back tomorrow playing Elden Ring! Yeah, this looks a little bit more complicated than I want to solve with 5 minutes to go. Okay. Then that's fine. I'm gonna call it here for tonight, because we did do a bunch of extra. We did the Megastructure, so usually we just do one segment and then, you know, fuck off. But we did the Megastructure tonight, so that's a little bit more than nothing. But anyway, yeah, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. I will be back for Elden Ring tomorrow. There is nothing to prevent me from being back for Elden Ring tomorrow. So I will see you tomorrow for Elden Ring. Everybody have a really good night.